we saw the casino one, we saw the 6-hour time travel duplicate Picard one, and we saw the daddy of my daddy.
Oh, the one where like Worf was having needed a birthday party, but it was just everybody.
B plot. Worf needs a birthday. Worf needs a Klingon birthday.
And a Klingon birthday is just like showing off your degradation kink to your family. Just zapping. Oh, please give me another. Oh!
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Proximity alert. Vessel approaching. The vessel is hailing.
Space.
Warning. Warp core collapse in 10 seconds.
I guess I should get like a second of silence just in case. Here, give me like 5 seconds. Oh, there's a fucking train blowing its horn. God damn.
I heard that. That was awesome.
Welcome to Left Track, your leftist Star Trek podcast. I'm Eric. Wait, what happened in this episode? I'm stuck on a dying planet. Oh God, what a horrible science fiction concept. How scary.
Oh my God. Oh, too real.
Oh no, my
too
planet's
fucking real.
dying.
Oh no, my planet's dying.
Oh no, my planet's dying. Please, Data, help me. I'm joined by Zotz.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Zotz. I am the pinnacle of human science after finally meeting outer space aliens, and I am now able to just become physical light embodied, so that the captain can go on a pony ride. That is what I am.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. and our special guest, Brian's dead, and special guest, the one and only, the always lovely Nicotine.
Hi everyone, I'm Brainstead. Nicotine. I'm a dumb internet person, and I'm really happy to be here because every episode that I'm on, I get to tank. I tank every episode of Left Track.
Yeah,
finally, my mission.
We've kind of been on a roll recently.
Us. Yeah. You can't stop us. We're on an up train, okay?
Yeah,
really?
Our viewership has expanded like 3 times. Like we're getting about
expanded so far.
Yeah,
but you've invited me again.
We gotta tamp down on our success. Really tanking that algorithm. We're getting like 250 views an episode now. I'm pretty happy.
Wow,
I know. We're the
say hello to 15, Eric.
The heights of YouTube power. 250 views. Can you believe it? Oh, that's almost like an actual physical coin in ad revenue. You know, if we actually got ad revenue. Today, it's episode 27, folks. We're looking at the famous Pen Pals. Famous episode of Pen Pals. So let me ask, like, going into it, Nicotine, how much did you remember of this episode? I know this episode is somewhat famous. So I don't know why exactly, but everyone knows about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I remembered literally nothing about this. When I heard that there was an episode called Pen Pals, I immediately said to myself, "What?
Really?"
What? And I started playing it, and I was like, "How did I completely forget about this episode?" It's like I watched it for the first time today.
Oh wow, that's incredible. I've had that with a lot of episodes, but not this one. I don't know. This one's very strong in my mind, just like the time travel duplicate one, and I don't really know why.
Wow.
It's not like I went back and watched it like a million times. I think it's like popular. I think I've just like seen it's like stays in my zeitgeist because people talk about it because it's like a Prime Directive episode.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, for sure.
And we'll talk about that too. Well, I guess getting right into this. Episode begins. We find out that Picard is a horse lover.
Horse girl. Picard's a horse girl.
Horse girl Picard, super into horses. He knows like horse legends from every culture on Earth.
All these horse facts. Hashtag horse facts.
He talks about like I didn't write it down. I didn't go back. I didn't think it was important. But he talks about like, oh yes, the some tribe.
Bedouins.
Like,
the Bedouins.
the Bedouins. The Bedouins think that Allah
they
formed the horse out of the eastern wind or some shit.
It was like I just love how he was just like, as much as Picard hates children, it was like they would even feed their children the milk from the horse. And it's just like really.
Picard loves horses way more than children.
True, you find that he really cements that home in this episode.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
You bring
that
a
is
fucking
actually
kid
true.
on my ship.
Oh yeah, he makes a little horse program with a holodeck, and Troy is there, and they reveal that it's that Betazoids don't like riding animals because they get swept up in the emotions and passions of the beast. This sounds, again, very erotic. The inherent erotic nature of riding horses around. There's an American Dad episode about that. It's great.
Yeah, but like
Also, big question. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say that horses, like as an animal, are just extremely dumb. Like, so it's just like
Yeah.
They're walking sofas with an anxiety disorder.
That's good. Yeah, 100%. Also, like, what does it say about Betazoid society that like they just completely just skipped that part of the tech tree in civilization where they just like didn't domesticate animals?
No, it means that they just had sex with animals all the time.
well, no, she say that she had a Betazoid cat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but she's not like a ride, not a mount.
We don't know that. We don't know.
What's the size of a Betazoid cat? Is it on Memory
I don't
Alpha?
think we
Do
get like
that?
a canon like
Oh,
size
yeah.
for this cat. It could be like it
Spock.
could be huge.
Spock had a family pet that was huge, like a mount, right? It was like he called it like a family dog, but it was actually like enormous.
Yeah, we get there's also the famous Bimbo Vulcan famous
the
sex
Bim Vulcan.
positive character Bim Vulcan T'Pol.
Yes, her name is T'Pol. Yes, her name is T'Pol.
She had a Vulcan kitty cat, and then it turns out it's like this beast like the size of a fucking saber-toothed
Yeah.
tiger.
That's the thing that Spock had as a pet.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, it's very
it's
cat-like
like,
though.
So it could be a mount. You know?
Yeah, you can ride them. They're huge.
Yeah.
She's like
No.
a Vulcan child who's never late with her Vulcan's dinner. Whatever.
I've never suckled at the teat of my kitty cat.
You milk anything with nipples.
Picard's about to get on the horse when they arrive at the spooky planet they were going to.
He never got his horsey ride.
Yeah, he never got his horse ride. He's about to jump on the horse.
He got immediately horse cucked. He goes to get on the horse, and he's immediately horse cucked.
Riker, goddammit, you just horse cucked me. And Riker's like, oh god, Captain, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. He's like, whatever, I'll be on the bridge in a moment.
Assume the position, number one. It's time to ride you.
Ruined little horse sit.
There's lots of thriving.
You just can't get the image of Jonathan Frakes like with a fucking get in their mouth and a bridle. Like.
Doing the Riker maneuver over and over.
Yeah. Want to see my new brave take on the Riker maneuver? It involves some bouncing. There's a thriving ecosystem on this planet. Now that they've gotten there, it's some sort of fucking catastrophe, and the entire planet's been burnt up. It's like Carrick. Ever played Homeworld? It's nuts.
Yeah. Also, this is that part of the when they first see that planet is another example of Worf going, "Hey, is there any evidence of some sort of threat here?" And immediately dismissed. Riker is immediately like, "Wow, what do you mean? Yeah, it might be on fire. We just want to know why." And Worf is like, "Well, yeah, like, was it a threat?" Nobody
Worf
wants
has
to
done
take
so
Worf
dirty.
seriously.
He's done so. Worf, I'm now beginning to think is the most done dirty character, and all of
100%.
TNG. More to many degrees than fucking Tasha. Even Tasha had the dignity of dying early. Worf like continues to slog onward until he turns into this like a wife abusing reactionary in Deep Space Nine. It sucks. So the entire they're having a fucking meeting and they're putting Wesley in charge of some sort of mineral study, and it's like an important one. It's not just like, well, we need to do this thing. This is just like some standard like research stuff that we're doing. We'll put Wesley in charge of it. Like, no, there's a mystery here. There's something we have to figure out. This is our mission. We're gonna put the 8-year-old in charge of this one.
It's time for you to be a man, and Riker slaps him hard in the back. Like,
well, the entire senior staff is having a meeting about this. It's like, well, Jesus fucking Christ, why? Why is this? First of all, why is the entire senior staff talking about like, how do we properly raise this child?
Whoa, wait, hey, don't do Pulaski like that, because once again, Pulaski has the right idea and says, maybe this is a stupid idea. Actually, like maybe he's just a dumb child and shouldn't be put in charge. Actually. Pulaski having a brain again, being the only one in the room with a brain.
Well, to be fair, I mean, her concern is incorrect here though, because it's not that like, are we putting too much responsibility on him too early? The concern is that no, this is a child. We can't put him in charge of this important space science mission. He's a fucking kid. There's consummate professionals, like actual adults on board that should be leading this mission. They're like, no, let's put the guy who's too young to even be in fucking Starfleet. Let's put him in charge.
Wesley is the ultimate nepo baby. He's the ultimate nepo baby.
I have that term several times in my notes. He fucking absolutely.
Okay, but for real though, I mean, Picard did kill his dad, so maybe there's like something on the ship.
Yeah, dead dad nepotism.
Dead dad nepotism.
Can I say really quickly that my biggest problem with Wesley as a character as written is that Wesley always seems to be the in almost every episode, Wesley seems to be the Gary Stu, right? Like the male equivalent of the Mary Sue, where he's like the writer stand-in or the stand-in for the audience, and he's perfect in every way, and everything he does always ends up fine, and he's just so misunderstood, and nobody listens to him, but he's always right, actually. Except this episode was the first time that I've seen Wesley written in such a way where he's actually has some flaws and like actually is a little bit flawed. And so Wesley, although Wesley is a terrible character for a lot of reasons, this is the first time where I actually didn't despise him, because he's actually flawed and actually has to have some measure of growth.
I can understand why someone would say that. I hated him in this episode just because of the context of everything, but the writing for his character, I think, like, objectively better than what it typically is. And that just goes for season 2. Season 2 just generally has much more solid writing, where even like the boring episodes have like little flares of like of good stuff here and there. And that's partly to do with the players involved. All these actors are geniuses, and partly honestly to do with the writing. It's nice and tight. The dialogue flows nice and pretty well. But yeah, so they're like, let's put the 8-year-old in charge of the mineral study that we desperately need to accomplish. And so they invite Wesley over, and Picard's like, sooner or later you'll have to face the burden of command. No. Picard says that to everyone else, and Riker's like, hey, come to the observation lounge, and then I missed a lot of the scene because I started puking. Blood started like flowing from my eyes. I had an aneurysm and died.
actually, Picard has some pretty good advice for Wesley. Picard actually occasionally has some good leadership advice, and this is one of the times when Picard actually says something that's like a little bit relevant and worthwhile in terms of leadership. And he actually turns to Wesley and says that he respects officers who aren't afraid to like ask questions and don't let their ego get in the way. And that is literally something that is so relevant to every tech bro dweebus who works in Silicon Valley who refuses to just ask the question, right? To just seem like, just for the briefest of moments, seem like they're not the one who has all the answers, right? Just like the tiniest amount of humility. It's actually like a very important like business rule.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's literally when I was an icky boss as like as an executive chef. I used to tell people that all the time. Like, I'd be like, never ever be afraid to ask me a question or the same question like 15 times, because I would much rather you be secure in like knowing what you're doing than have me fix your fuck up. Like, please just do not feel bad about like asking it. I don't care if it's just like, chef, what temperature does water boil at? You know, it'd be like, I don't care. Go ahead, ask it. Like, we can do this. I don't want you to fuck up.
Yeah, as soon as they leave the observation room to go back to the bridge, we learn that it actually is like a geological upheaval, and it sort of looks like a threat. Riker, who is immediately dismissive of the potential for a threat.
Yeah. Although, if I were Riker, I'd be sick of Worf shit by now too. You know, like literally anything comes within like anything comes with like within the sensors of fucking the starship. Like, he's just like,
blow it up.
Oh, we've armed with cannons. It's a threat.
Castle Doctrine. Kill.
I have to prove myself. I'm a real Klingon. I'm a big Klingon boy. Oh, zap me.
That's why it's like very intentionally like you know, Worf and the Klingons are written to be so like exotic in some way. And I think the way that they're framed, you know, especially since like all the actors besides Michael Dorn are just white people in blackface. But I think the real thing of the Klingons is that they're a frat culture. It's like it's an entire society that's been built off like I don't know, like e-fucked pranks or something. Like it's like it's a culture that advanced through like dares. There's not it's toxic. It's like this culmination of toxic masculinity that's like weird, and I don't like it. And I doubt the writer's intentions in portraying it. And I think that lasts like basically forever with regards to the Klingons. But hey, whatever. Wesley. So everyone's sucking Wesley's dick. He's like, assemble the team and find out the mystery, Wesley. We cut over to Data on the bridge. He modified some sensors because he's on meth. He took apart his computer on the bridge in order to see how it works.
Yeah, Worf's like, damn, girl, you live like this? He's like tripping over his laptop.
There's a bunch of like trash. There's a bunch of instant noodles just fucking everywhere.
Underwear. Women's underwear everywhere.
Data, you only been working for like an hour. How did the bridge get this messy?
It's crumbs. Data turns around looking like Nedry from Jurassic Park. He's like, I'll clean it up, I promise.
We cut back to Wesley. Wesley's sourcing advice from Riker about leading a team. He says, hey, what do I do about this? I feel weird at being the child of nepotism, placed into this executive position with absolutely no merit or experience over the people who would do the job significantly better than myself and who are way older than me. And Riker's like, wait. Don't worry about it. You're in command. You're the god here. This is Wesley. Your job is to communicate to the audience so they don't have to feel bad about their unearned positions of power. This
scene that we're describing, can I detail it a little bit? Can I put a little bit of flavor on here? So when we show up to 10 forward for this scene, Riker is in the middle of hitting on this woman, this gorgeous woman in 10 forward, and he's like clearly on a date with her, a very personal one. And Wesley comes into this bar looking like a like a sad wet cat coming in and makes eye contact with Riker, who like nods solemnly and then goes back to his days like, sorry, it's a family emergency. But then we see Wesley doing the Riker maneuver to get into his chair. He does the Riker maneuver to sit down at a chair in this bar with Riker, who also does the Riker maneuver. And I just thought that was such a good touch.
I bring it back. I remember like when like Riker has like so much riz that like when he walks away, she's like turning around and giggling. You know, and he's
like, sorry, babe, I'll catch you later. And she turns around like, swoon.
I hate to see him leave, but I love to watch him go. And so we cut over Wesley's. We go to this like really neurotic looking guy. He's vaporizing rocks in a laboratory, and suddenly it's like, why isn't this guy's vaporizing rocks for fun? He's clearly a rock guy. His special interest is rock. Why isn't he in charge of the scientific rock study? He's a fucking officer. He's in Starfleet, and he's the rock guy. Put him in charge. Oh, we got to give Wesley to be in charge because he's a Wunder kid, unlike Rockman that we have down in the lab.
Listen, Space Father's Day was right around the corner. Riker felt really bad and just really wanted to give the kid like a W, you know? Like, it's just...
So why he's not in charge of the team is a mystery. He's the most rock guy that anyone's ever seen in their entire life. Immediately starts being like slightly sassy to Wesley, saying that like, oh, I can take over if you need it. Oh, you should have consulted me before you start assembling your team. I like to break up husband and wife teams so they don't start making out while they should be doing science.
They just start. I don't like husband and wife teams. They're always fucking.
Yeah, we don't want any heaving bosoms or raging hard-ons knocking over any of this science stuff in the lab. That would suck. And then Wesley's like, oh, I didn't think about that. Damn. But he was like, oh, don't worry about it. Just, an incredibly important command mission. I'm certain, me Wesley, I'm certain that I have this. We'll talk about it later. I have a theory about why maybe this isn't as annoying as it is, but that's it's headcanon, not true. Data's back in his quarters, and they need the he's looking for some kind of strange signal. He uses like a sorting algorithm, and he puts all the lines in order. Then it turns out there's a little girl on the other end. She's talking to Data, and Data like responds. I don't know why there's like two-way communication. Like, why does Data have his microphone on? Why is he transmitting on the same signals that he's studying? Like, but okay. He talks, and he's like, oh yeah, no, it's me. I'm here. I'm Data. Hi. Cut back to Wesley again. Wesley's nervous. He's walking into the room that has his team on the other side, and presumably he's been standing out there for hours while his team is like actually doing the fucking work of the goddamn mission. So he's delaying the mission, just being like nervous, like twiddling his thumb outside.
He's the manager, and that's what managers do. They're like, hey, you do this, you do this, you do this, and then they go and they fuck off in the office for like 3 hours, and then come back
in my nice air conditioned room while I watch all of you on my camera.
Wesley preparing to become a landlord.
Wesley preparing to be the worst manager ever. I think I accidentally got someone fired at Taco Bell recently.
Why are you narking on Taco Bell staff?
I didn't.
Unless they like actually fucking like wipe their nuts on your chalupa. There's like no reason for you to fucking like narc on Taco Bell staff.
I didn't mean to. But the guy, he was like physically confronting me over my habit of ordering too many fire sauce. like he went out the window. And this is like the third or fourth time he's done this, and apparently the guy who I'm friends with there also is like the store manager. So I mentioned to him, it's like, yeah, I had to stop going in the morning because this guy keeps giving me a fucking hard time. And then he was like, oh, don't worry, he's not going to be here for much longer. And I was like, oh, okay, he put in his 2 weeks. That's good. And then while I'm driving away, I'm like, oh wait, Oh, whoa! Did I just get that guy fired? Whoops!
Fucking wow! Some leftist you are.
Yeah, well, that guy's an asshole anyway. Listen, if you're being a Captain America and not giving me like a fucking dozen fire sauce per order, like, oh, I'm only gonna give 2 fire sauce per item, motherfucker. I got a quesadilla here. You know how much coverage 2 fire sauce gives you? Nothing. All right. If you want to be a Captain America about and defend the honor and integrity of the Taco Bell Corporation, then you're my enemy. I don't give a fuck. You're my class enemy. Fuck you.
Oh wait,
Orpho stooge.
Wait. Was he like? Oh, so he was just like, oh, I can't give it to you. That's the Taco Bell executives are gonna lose out on their fucking bonus if I give.
Yeah, like literally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, no, fuck that dude.
Yeah,
no, fuck
there we go. Yeah,
okay.
Corpo.
All right,
I used to call them
we're back
Captain
on top. We're back.
I used to call
we
people
brought it
like
back.
that Captain America, but I don't want to. But I think calling them corpos is way better. I like that way more.
Hell yeah, cyberpunk. Let's go.
Yeah. We're the cyberpunk future now. It's fine. AI. Is
No,
everywhere.
it's not the lamest
late stage cyberpunk dystopia.
Help me,
The
Dina!
lamest
I'm on a
one.
dying planet. What a wild fantasy.
Do you know why this was a thing in this episode? Do you know why this seemingly so weird premise even took place?
What's that?
Because the writer had not only had a fascination with horses. This is Melinda Snodgrass had a huge fascination with horses.
Interesting.
But also the design, the spiritual premise from the writer's standpoint was that they wanted to do an episode about
The little girl was going to be a horse alien.
No, about CQ, about like Citizen Radio, being like a little kid. You ever seen the movie Contact, where they're like talking to the ham radio, and the little girl's like just talking out into the ether, hoping to hear something back.
Mm-hmm.
And the writer was like, "What if you were doing that, and then somebody talked back?" Whoa! And that was the premise.
Kind of neat, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as it stands, like that premise is not executed well.
No, not at all.
Like, why is a 6-year-old trying to like signal for aliens to help, and then also doesn't know that? I don't know. There's a lot of weird implications.
I did really enjoy Data's like facial reaction, like when the little girl said hello back. Like he's just always like, oh. Neat. like genuinely just like, oh cool, this worked. Like as like doesn't even
Well, because he like picks up this signal and he's like fucking studying the goddamn thing, and apparently he's been at it for like a long time. But anyway, back to Wesley. He's standing outside he's standing in the manager's office, looking at everyone on the camera, and Pulaski walks in, and Wesley's like, I realize I don't have the authority necessary to be leading these people, and Pulaski's like, no, you have the authority. It's been granted to you on a high, and you're not an organizer here. You're the fucking boss. you can hire and fire these people. And then Wesley, feeling empowered by the speech, like, okay, they walk in. He walks in. Boom. They're working on an awesome geological study, and these like consummate professionals are like, oh hey, we're running all these scans. Wesley's like, oh, we should run this other like shitty little scan that no one cares about. Then these people are like, you're wasting my fucking time. Work smarter, not harder, you little stupid bitch. But so they there's like, oh, Wesley's like, no, we're gonna run every fucking scan in all of existence. Everyone just stares at him until he backs off, that little freak. But Data's back on the bridge and figuring out what to do about this little girl's voice that he found, and he goes to Picard, who's engaged in relations with a horse on a holodeck. Apparently Data received this message 8 weeks ago, and he's been talking to her for 8 weeks. Like it's like you're like awestruck. It's like, how much fucking time is passing? that was 2 months ago. Like from one scene to another, 2 months have passed. Like, I mean, okay.
Shit, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
That's
he says
that's a good point.
Yeah, he says it was 8 weeks ago. He's been talking to the person. We don't see any of that. We just see the one thing where he picks up the signal and is like, "Hello." It's like in a different fucking timeline. Like we're looking at the data seeds, and the data seeds are from like from months ago.
Oh shit! So
The
like
secret life of data.
Yeah, it's
So
very
like this
weird.
so then that explains like why the
And he hasn't
why
mentioned it for the ages. He didn't even know like who he was that he was talking to like a primitive until like now.
Yeah, that explains why like the acceleration of like the planet like dying was like so quick. You know what I mean? Like because I was like,
sorta.
that seemed kind of fast to like where they're like, oh, we can have an answer for you to fix the planet like right now. Actually,
well, it's like a
and
local
if they've been studying
event.
it for 12, and if they've been studying it for like 12 months or 2 months, I mean, then that kind of makes a little bit more sense.
Because like the same thing for some reason is happening to this planet as it is this other planet that has Data's friend on it, and they're both like M-class planets with like big civilizations on them. So yeah, but like I don't know. I mean, at least they've been studying this. Maybe they've been studying this other planet for 8 weeks, and for some reason the same thing is happening. I don't know why. We don't know why the same thing's happening. It's just some like local event that's affecting like all the planets in this region of space. Like that's kind of spooky, but they don't follow up on it. I don't even know if I completely understand what's happening, but. Whatever. I bet he's gonna complain about the consummate professionals not running the goddamn scan. He's like, "Oh, how do I give an order to someone who's much older than me?" And this episode feels like guidance for nepo babies. Like, "Oh, how can I conquer my imposter syndrome and give order to people who are much more experienced and deserving of my position?" And the answer, like in modern positivity for imposter syndrome, is just like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You deserve it." But no, here on Left Track, we're gonna be the ones to tell you, no, you don't deserve it. I'm going to tell you right now, you little piece of shit, you do not deserve where you're at. You're nothing special. There's nothing special about you. You don't deserve your position of happiness over anyone else on the planet. Fuck you. Bless your goddamn lucky stars.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Wesley goes down with like authority and he's like, Davies, I want you to run that fucking scan, you little bitch. And the guy's just like, oh, you got it, without any hesitation. Once again, teaching the nepo babies in the audience that you can order people around, they'll be happy to do whatever you want because you deserve it, you little baby.
Yeah, I did enjoy how the guy was like, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You just had to, you really didn't have to like tell me a second time, really.
Yeah. The message.
He was already doing it.
He was just doing it on his own. He had some time. The message here being like, oh no, you can order people and they're around and they're fine, and not like, no, Wesley doesn't deserve this at all. But hey, whatever. So they're having a little conversation about Data's pen pal. Apparently even though we haven't seen them talking, apparently they've been talking for weeks, and now they're pen pals. I didn't know how poorly this was established, but hey, whatever. Much better done in an episode of Deep Space Nine called The Sound of Her Voice. Great episode. It's like the closer to season 5, I think. Worf says that, like, oh, so screw the little girl on the dying planet, and Pulaski's like, no, we should probably help the person, and rare agreement with myself and Pulaski, right? Yeah, Riker's it's bad to. It was. Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, you're the like they're trying to like you're forgetting, you skipped over the part where like Data like went into Picard's office and was like, so I think I kind of fucked up.
I just kind of glossed over that part, but yeah, Data was like, oh, I've been talking to a little girl on a shitty little planet that doesn't know about interstellar life. Whoops. Whoops! I violated the Prime Directive. Guess I'll go get jail.
Captain, I accidentally became a Discord moderator
Captain, I've accidentally been texting a 16-year-old girl. I couldn't help it. My podcast was just getting so popular.
Data. It's like the Men Rights Actors podcast.
Data's James Franco. James Franco, Virgil, Texas.
Oh, Jesus.
Worf's like, so now they're talking about what the fuck they should do, and Pulaski's like, no, save her. And Worf's like, no, kill her. And then Riker says it's bad to interact with any species because of the divinity of Christ and the righteousness of God. And interfering with God's plan is incorrect on the face of it. And then, it sounds like I'm doing the classic left trick exaggeration, because he doesn't use those words, but he's like, oh, it's the plan of the universe. What if it's the plan of the universe? Are we not altering fate? It's like, Riker, shut the fuck up.
The one thing that I really liked about this is it's like this really like gave like this is like literally like listening to like privileged people talk about like marginalized groups, like this whole thing, because it was like they were literally just like going over like this like bullshit philosophical questions, like, well, what does it mean to save a life, really? And it's like going through like all this shit.
Picard has the fucking gall later in the scene to call some other argument sophistry. It's like, motherfucker, this whole thing is sophistry.
Well, yeah, he could, because I think it was Pulaski that was like, it was like Pulaski or Troy, who is like, hey, let's remember that these people are actually real and not like they shouldn't be up. Not
theoretical,
which is like
Charlie problem.
Which is like literally like how like a lot of people, usually end up like, which is like, well, I mean, like, what rights do these people actually need? I mean, to be honest, like, if we give them rights, how much further till we give dogs rights? What's this thing? And it's just like, but these people are actually being affected right now. So
it's
because they're real fucking
like,
people.
Oh, what about snowball theory? It's a rock rolling down the hill. If we start helping this situation, then what if we have to do a bunch of other stuff? What about a famine or an epidemic? What about a war? It's like there's no possible line that could be drawn. No, every action needs to lead to the normalization of its most extreme action possible.
This scene is also notable for being the best example of Pulaski actually sticking up for the robot.
I saw that comment in IMDb too, and I completely disagree.
She sticks up for the robot.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to Pulaski. This is like the one episode where like I was like, if Pulaski is like this for the rest of the show or whatever, I think I would have to make some apology, because it was like she was really nice to Data. Like, she was like actually like, Data sees the value of life as well. Like, no matter who it is, like she just like had this revelation.
Well, we'll see. Well, that's we don't know. She says that she's just on the side of saving
science. Mommy is a lesbian of science. All right.
Oh shit! I forgot it's Pride Month. Fuck! I forget. Oh no! I'm sorry. I fucked up. We'll have to review.
We'll be
Pulaski's
sending you
behavior.
to the FEMA camps later.
July 1st, we're gonna have a talk about Pulaski, but until then, she's an icon. I was gonna make a Pride left track avatar and then change it the second after June is over. I just thought that'd be funny, and we'll probably do that. Blah 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 blah. Where the fuck was I? What if there's a war? What if saving these people, they go on to become the new galactic Hitlers? It's like, oh well, good point, Picard. All this other shit is sophistry. No, you're doing the real philosophy here. You fucking hate this guy. And Data's like, oh, okay, well, we gotta kill this person, right? Oh, well. And he turns on the transmission for a second and then delays before turning it off permanently. I don't know why. They hear the little girl pleading for help, and they're like, oh, well, god damn it. I guess we gotta help. Now emotion is involved. Oh, well.
Picard literally did say, well, Data, you did it.
Yeah. We humanize these people now. They're not not just like, bugs on a planet. Now that we see them as people, oh well. Too bad. Looks like we can't let these people die. It's really obnoxious. This is the stuff about like the Prime Directive that I fucking like. They hate. We'll talk about it. They go to the correct planet, and it looks like it hasn't been consumed in a firestorm yet, but apparently it will. They don't know the cause for it, and Wesley's doing his little scan, and then they start blowing him over it because, like, oh, if Wesley hadn't forced us to do additional work, we wouldn't have had the work ethic necessary to detect what the problem actually was. Good job, Wesley, you small business tyrant. I love you. You definitely deserve this position of authority over us. We're dedicated professionals. We've been studying this shit for decades. We're like we're in our fucking 30s. Two of us are married to one another. But no, the 8-year-old comes and tells us to work harder, and god damn it, he was right. And that's how I see Wesley in this episode. That's why I couldn't really appreciate the writing, because I was just too mad about his unearned position of authority. But hey, whatever. Regardless, they know exactly what's causing the issue, and now they can reverse it hypothetically. So they're going to start working on how to do that. They figure that everyone's going to die, and the safest location on the planet is this other place, and Data has permission to tell his friend about that. But it's like, are they really going to be able to get over there? Like it seems like they have advanced technology. Do they have like transporters? Can they get over to the other side of the planet quickly? Like, I'm imagining like the little girl's family is like loaded up in their station wagon with like wood paneling. It's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. We got to make it to the highway.
The little girl is trying to lug the ham radio, and the dad's like, "No, you can't bring it. Put it down."
Yeah,
that's like, I have to talk to my friend.
I gotta hang out with my pen pal. So they drill some kind of probe down. Data's like, oh, I can't contact my friend. I gotta beam down to the planet. Although, like, this is definitely an escalation of like the contact here. And Picard gives him permission to go down. Riker comes down to the transport room and goes up to O'Brien. It's like, hey, you didn't see any of this. And O'Brien's like, oh, well, don't worry, I'll just be over here taking a nap. Yeah. And so, like, are they saving this planet illegally? Because there's no question that they're violating the Prime Directive, but is it the case that they're doing all of this, like, unlawfully, or are going to attempt to, like, keep their actions from Starfleet? Like, what? Like, what is this? Are they just keeping this incident out of their logs? But, okay, sure, whatever. If you're gonna have really, these people have really advanced technology. Data touches the door and it like evaporates like a force field or a hologram, and outside is some real serious. You open your door and there's like 17 volcanoes like just pouring lava into the atmosphere outside. Data's like, ooh, it's a little hot out here.
I like how aloof Data's been this whole episode too. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, I fucked up. Because even when he's like, so we're gonna kill this girl, right? And he's just and like Picard's like, yes, and he's just like, all right,
let me go turn on this transition of this little girl pleading for help real quick. Like, if you play that in the Federation Council, you can just get the Prime Directive rescinded. It's like, well, we gotta help this person. Well, now we've humanized these people. We can't just think about them as abstracts and then coldly watch a fucking like meteor annihilate their planet because like oh that'd be violating the natural evolution of their species to have to be destroyed by a fucking meteor or firestorm or whatever the fuck. But hey, cool, whatever. So the little girl it comes back and she's this weird little alien with a messed up face and her voice is kind of like vocoded, I guess. She's back at home and her family doesn't know where she is. And Data's like, "You're never gonna survive this. We gotta beam you up." And it's like, shouldn't she be back with her family? Like, one way or other, her family surviving. Like her family is surviving. She's not an orphan. Like, they're probably looking for her after she gets fucking beamed up, and like, what if that gets her family killed as they're looking for their young daughter and staying in this like dangerous place where there's a million volcanoes going off everywhere. It's like, and they can't find her because they don't know where the fuck she is because now she's on a spaceship for no fucking reason. So I didn't know at that point if we were meant to understand her family is dead, but no. Her family's alive. There was no reason for her to be beamed up. She would have been much better off with her family. Wouldn't have to go through all this bullshit. Data's looking at all. Everyone's all like tense on the bridge, and then Data's like, oh, where? And everyone's like, oh, where's Data? And Data walks onto the bridge with the little girl. Picard sees a child come onto the bridge and begins fuming. He starts hyperventilating in rage.
So mad.
A child on my bridge.
He's more upset that Data brought a child on the bridge than like broke like the Prime Directive. Like
yeah, like literally.
Violating the Geneva Conventions, and Picard violating Geneva Conventions was like, yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes you got to do it.
Is that
Bring
a
fucking child?
So she refuses to go.
Doesn't he even call it? Isn't he like, get it off my bridge? Doesn't he even say something like that?
Probably. This is how he refers to every child.
No. O'Brien called it it. Or called
Oh yeah, O'Brien called her it.
O'Brien's like, are you gonna bring it with you?
You gonna bring that?
So she
O'Brien being a catty bitch.
she refuses to go with Counselor Troy. She only wants to stay near Data, who's told to assume his position. Like, I don't know why. Can't someone else do what Data's doing on the bridge right now? It seems like he's honestly, like, should probably take care of this like alien child. But all right.
Honestly, like that's like a legit, like, I feel like that's like a really good, like, that's how a child would act, is what I'm trying to say. Where it's just like,
for sure.
You know, this is the only adult I know, and I'm literally hovering above my planet for the first, like.
This is an alien abduction. Like, this is literally an alien abduction.
Yeah.
We've literally alien abducted this girl. And then they erase her memories! And then they erase her memories!
And then it gets even worse, too. But okay, so, yeah. So... Can't someone else do what Data's doing? No, he needs to watch with the child, and he's on the bridge. So her family's actually completely fine. There was no reason why Data had to beam her up. And if anything, Data had like an actual responsibility to get her back to her family as soon as possible. Now that their planet is safe, but hey, whatever. Picard is like, oh no, we've got to wipe this child's brain. What a pain in the ass. The child is remarkably calm and very curious of her surroundings. She's much less annoying of a child prodigy than Wesley. She picks up a rock in sickbay that apparently sings a different song for every person that touches it. Now that's like a cute thing that like we're supposed to be like, oh, how neat, but the implications. This is a psychic rock. This is a psychic rock. Immeasurably psychic rock. This is like a fucking
paperweight.
This is an SCP object that he's just fucking picked up. Like this is
notably, it doesn't work on Data either.
That's why we know it's not like, oh, it responds to your like hand pressure like a Ouija board. Like no. It's telepathic. It doesn't sing to Data because Data's not alive. It's a psychic rock, and it gets worse. So she picks up the psychic rock, and it sings a different song wherever that touches it. Like I can't get over this. It's a psychic rock. It's like the most amazing thing that we've seen. But like okay, so
yeah, and Pulaski's using it to hold down like.
Yeah.
It's a paperweight.
I can't stress this more. It's a psychic rock. It sings a song to. I'm like getting lightheaded.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is it's like nobody else can hear it either, right? Like it's only the person who's holding it can hear it. So it's like That's actually amazing. Yeah, you're right. That is really fucking amazing. That's fucking cool. What a cool thing they threw into such like a silly episode.
What?
Like to just like be like,
worse.
oh yeah, here's a.
So Data's feeling bad because they want to wipe her memory. Like I think he contemplates keeping her, but it's like, dude, she's not a fucking orphan. Her family didn't die in the volcano.
Like a cat.
Yeah.
Like a stray cat.
I want to keep her. Plus, she's like
She's no horse,
Pulaski
Data.
is like, no, she has to be the person she was meant to be. And it's like, that's fucking stupid. More of this like fucking like sci-fi destiny shit. It's like whatever. Data and then Data. Here's what I was alluding to. Data gives her the fucking psychic rock. He gives her the psychic rocks for her to take down back into her planet. Presumably, this psychic rock, a immeasurably psychic rock. It's this marvel. It's comparable to like an SCP object. Like you could make a fucking Twilight Zone episode out of this goddamn rock, and it's just gonna be like in the newspaper headlines on our planet, like, oh, strange girl loses memory, found in possession of psychic rock, not of this world. Like they've changed the course of their species forever by giving her this fucking psychic.
Well, of course they did. They literally shot fucking like drills into their planet and then like hummed it to stabilize it. Like,
yeah, well, but like even
everybody down there and like the traffic jams and shit, they're just hearing like the planet sing because like the whole thing is resonating, and then it's just saved.
We can assume now that would be funny, but we can assume like no one knows what happened. Like maybe they'll just like when they study this, they'll discover like far in the future, like, oh, it looks like there was some sort of like intervention here. How crazy! But like, I mean, you know, we can assume that. I think that's what we're meant to assume. Like, you know, if aliens like beam down a couple drills and out in the middle of fucking nowhere, like none of us even with our technology, and granted these aliens are more advanced than us, but like we wouldn't fucking know. You know, right? Shit can go on all the fucking time. We have no fucking clue about it. But that's very different than the measurably supernatural object. It's not a tchotchke or something. It's not a fucking like snow globe. It's not like a Starfleet logo. It's a psychic rock. It's
I
magic.
like the idea. I now like the idea that it's like one of those. It's like a joyful moment, like thing, like, you know, like the little porcelain dolls that boomers would collect, like
like snow babies, like snow babies.
Snow baby. It is a immeasurably supernatural object that she was given, but. Okay, wrapping up the episode, Riker's like, hey, Wesley, come sit down in the captain's chair. And Wesley's like, I'm not nearly experienced enough for that, sir. It's like the day literally saved due to Wesley and his work ethic, where he makes other people do additional work for him. Like, cool. Data comes over to Picard and is like, hey, sorry, because I got, you know, blah, blah, blah. But Picard's like, well, you got closer to understanding humanity, so it's fine. It's like, what? What? They don't really have a reckoning with the Prime Directive, because I don't even know how much of it has been like established up to this point that they absolutely should have let her die and everyone die. I mean, like they've callously violated it by even thinking about saving these people, but whatever. We don't know.
But why do anything if you have the ability, right? If you have the ability and you have all this thing, why just let it happen? That's what I don't fucking understand.
So the idea,
it's like the same thing. It's the same.
Episode's over,
like,
by the way. So yeah, we talk about it now.
Because that's the same. It's like, oh, they should just bootstrap themselves out of the fucking planet exploding.
No, we're not supposed to. We're not trying to step in for gods and protectors here. We need to let species evolve as they were, because like, okay, let's say that we save them from something that's like preventable. Even let's pretend it's not like a comet coming towards their ship. Like in this episode, there's something that's happening with their planet. it doesn't seem to be like natural to their planet.
Listen,
it seems to be some kind of local effect. Let's assume it's natural to their planet. Like something's going to happen to their planet that was always going to happen, and there just happens to be the species here. What right do we have to intervene where we wouldn't otherwise intervene in like a socio-political context? Because these beings are they're people, but they're also of their planet, and if we're letting the sentient beings evolve along with their nature and their society, then surely something natural happening to their planet is also the course of their species. It's like a holistic view of species as like being of their planet until the moment they become interstellar and not like people.
No, they have the ability to like do all this like fantastical shit. Like they literally bend fucking like they have like faster than light travel. Like they literally, you know what I mean? Like
they bend space and time in order to travel faster than light.
Yeah. But you're telling me that they're so that like this society and everything is so far advanced that they can't just like just be like, oh shit, here's this plan, like here's like this like whatever, we have the ability to fix it, and like we can like reach out. Like you're telling me that there's like no way that they can just figure it out. Like there's nothing, because it's like there's so many.
It's a power dynamics thing, right? Like if we like right now in the United States, in the Earth, on the planet Earth, like we have a ton of problems. If a super powerful alien civilization came down to Earth and said, Earthlings, we have the ability to solve all of your problems. All you have to do is sign here on the dotted line to become part of the Federation of bullshit. Well, but we'll solve all your problems. That would make us kind of beholden to them, and then it's a little bit of a weird power dynamic.
Well, let's change it. Oh,
Eric, hold on, wait. Eric, hold on. So I would say this is what I would say that I think that in the case of like Starfleet, I feel like Starfleet seems like they would like, or if it was like my perspective, Starfleet would offer it as an option, not like, hey, we're gonna fix it, sign here type shit, where it's like, hey, we can stabilize the core of your planet. Just being like, reaching out, like figuring out a way, like teleport all the world's leaders to the ship.
Talking to them in the first place is verboten,
So
if they're gonna, like talking to them is just as bad, or is significantly worse than like saving everyone.
Well, but why?
Because
that doesn't make any sense.
Because the point is, and I don't like the Prime Directive for a few reasons, and we will talk about that. But the point is that you need to let species evolve like as they are, like what they have like the capacity and the rights to be. Being like the invisible hand and knocking away a comet that's gonna like crash into them, or keeping their planet from blowing up and turning into an uninhabitable wasteland. Like that's significantly worse than actually going down and altering their culture by not only informing them definitively of the existence of alien life that's more advanced from them, but also communicating with them. The whole ridiculous. Point is the natural evolution of like that species society, and not. But
like, why wouldn't you put it up there? Like, why wouldn't you fucking figure it? Because that's the whole thing. It's like, I'm not talking about. So like relating it to like what we have here, right? I'm not talking about like doing like a social experiment where it's like they just cut like, we're like when Oprah fucking donated gave $10,000 to like every house in some inner city neighborhood in Chicago, right? It was just like, here you go, here's all your problems solved, and then like it fixed fucking nothing, right? No, I'm talking about like going through and like just like being like, hey, we've established this, we've been this route, we've seen this happen many times. Like, all right, we have our ambassadors go down there. I think you're missing the point. Is that like informing a species that's not interstellar of interstellar life and civilization, that's like the biggest no. Like that's what the Prime, like you can talk to someone as soon as they develop like warp drive and are traveling around the stars, like the fucking moment that they invent warp drive, because that's when you like graduate from that part of like the primitive society part of the Prime Directive. Like going down with your ambassadors and talking with people, that's worse. Like that would be worse than what they actually did in this episode,
because that would definitively
Do you
alter...
remember the episode? Do you remember the episode that I fucking hated, but you loved, like, for like some fucking reason, where it's like the guy like sold where the guy like sold like arms, to like both sides of the fucking
Iran Contra
because
thing.
because like he thought it was like a really good idea, because like, oh well, if I'm giving fucking nuclear armaments to this one, I might as well give them to the other one. Got to keep it fair. Like, no, instead of that, just be like, hey, listen, like this, I can act as like a mediator, or y'all could keep killing each other, one or the other.
But
you know what I mean?
But that's different, because that's an interstellar species that knows about things. Like the Prime Directive applies in its non-interference thing, but it doesn't apply in like contact. Because what you're missing, what the key thing is that you're not allowed to have any contact whatsoever with a species that doesn't have interstellar travel.
And I'm saying that's bullshit as an entity that has the ability and like everything to do good. Like you're like the whole idea of the whole idea like behind like the establishment of the Prime Directive is like liberal fucking bullshit. Because it's like, why
I don't know about that. No, I totally do. It's not liberal. It's like we can't do colonialism. We cannot allow ourselves to do.
It's not doing colonialism.
And so it's
colonialism, right? Isn't like going in and like completely subjugating a people is like
slippery slope like attitude. It's like, well, if we start interfering in one way, then we're kind of obligated to start interfering in other ways, and then that goes on to be like an unhealthy thing that we shouldn't be dealing with because we're not gods.
If it's like okay, like Nicotine brought up like our planet, like right now, right? If like all of a sudden like an alien species with like fucking broadcasted what they were able to, like, we can solve your climate change issue, right? We can help, we can give you a technology that will basically like replace your fossil fuel and like be able to help heal your planet, right? And it's like, now we give you X amount of time to let us know if you want this, like deliberate amongst yourselves or whatever. And it's just kind of like, and then like basically like what happens after that. I feel like that is way better than just being like, all right, get out the fucking popcorn, let's fucking watch this fucking shit go. Like it's like complicit in like billions of deaths when you have the ability to fucking do it. And like if you have a society that is built and like structured where it's like you're trying to do like the most good and you're trying to like it's like not, you're not going out, you're not doing colonial missions, right? You're just doing things to like, just like you're using your technology that you've created to travel the stars, do research, and if like something bad is happening, you are fortunate enough to be able to like, give people medicine. Right?
Yeah,
like that, which was like a literal episode. You remember the fucking like, oh well, we know we can cure their addiction, and it's like, well, that would violate the Prime Directive, and it's like,
but
why?
That's a different part of the Prime Directive, because that part of the Prime Directive is another contentious part, which is non-interference in other political entities, like regardless of their interstellar status. Like that's a good one. Not interfering in like this like domination relationship. There's another one where like the Cardassians have this becomes a plot line later. The Cardassians have like taken over and are actively like holocausting this like spiritual people, the Bajorans. And it's like, well, that we can't do anything about this because that falls within the designated borders of the Cardassian Empire. That's their thing. And that's the other part of the Prime Directive, or another part of the Prime Directive, which is we also don't do politics at all. We don't interfere with the internal workings of other political organizations at all.
I would say that makes more sense than like being like, you know, oh, your entire planet is dying and we could fucking save it, but no, we're worried that we might spook you too much, or like
no,
you know,
no. The worry is about like playing God. It's not a worry about like,
but
oh,
they
what
are
if
gods. They literally bend fucking physics to their whim. Shut the fuck up. Like,
no,
what are you
Zots, come on. No, it's not. And that's not what it's about. You're like I hate the Prime Directive for a lot of reasons, but you're underplaying the philosophical part of
I don't give a fuck about the philosophical part. Even like that was one of the reasons why I like Pulaski so much.
Zots, I'm sorry. This is not real.
This is why I love like the like Pulaski said, it's like these are real people. Right? Like, these are people who are suffering right now. We could see them. We could touch them even if we just fucking went down there. These are real fucking people. This is the same thing.
That's on like an emotional, like personal level, which I think is fine. I agree with Pulaski. I think if a species is going to be...
Well, we're all agreeing with Pulaski now, Well.
Zots, let me say this, that you're absolutely right, that if a species is going to be exterminated, especially if that is not their fault at all, like they didn't do anything about that. Like I disagree with like helping in a war or
sure,
maybe
yeah.
I do. I actually don't. Actually, I think you probably should.
I'm just saying that it makes more sense. I would say that it makes more sense than like if like, because I mean like the thing like a whole planet being destroyed, not only are we talking about like sentient life, right, but like if like us making the like Earth uninhabitable for us, right, means that it's uninhabitable for a lot of fucking animals.
Well, see,
right?
It's not about maximization of life. It's about letting life continue as it would have without our interference. It's a non-interference protocol. It's not about like life maximization, you know. And to that point, I personally would disagree with them coming down and solving climate change. Like there's a hypothetical federation out there, and we're sitting down here on Earth, and we have all these problems. Now imagine if an alien species came down and like didn't violently alter our political structure, and was just like, here are all the problems to these global catastrophes. Here we're going to ensure that capitalism can thrive and sustain forever, so you know, in order to preserve more life, there's not going to be any kind of like global catastrophe. There's not going to be any sort of like consequences to human society. We're just going to fix all those things, and you know, all your structures can keep in place. You know, all your like leaders, you know, they decide, you know, what to do with this stuff, but okay, we can fix your planet. That would suck. That would be really bad.
I mean, that's one way. I wouldn't put it past like people to like use it as a way to.
Well, no, it's not about just using it as a way. It's that like our planet Earth, we have political structures that we exist under, and these ambassadors are dealing with Earth political structures, with the global dominance of capitalism existing in every country. That's what they're dealing with. Those are the power structures that they're negotiating with and keeping in place and enshrining with this deal. And any kind of like collapse, any kind of like catastrophe that would lead to societal change becomes impossible when those are prevented. Now, that's not to say that that's always a good thing or that's always a bad thing, but like, you know, if there's a species and they can't figure shit out, you know, it shouldn't be the job of the hypothetical federation to go down and figure out politics for them. Like that.
If you're in the fucking area,
no, it's not about like proximity. It's not about effort. It's about literally like interfering for the preservation of whatever society they have, even if that society sucked. Like if the Nazis had like taken over the world, would they still be coming down and doing climate change and fixing climate change? And should they? Like that's a totally different question.
Sure, why not? I don't
No,
fucking like.
don't fix the Nazi planet. But then that goes to show you, like, you know, there's maybe if we're thinking about it like that, there's some societies that shouldn't be saved, that shouldn't be honored, and then that, you know, goes into a bunch of other stuff. And the point of the Prime Directive is that well, we don't have to worry about that if we just don't deal with anything, which I think is a stupid overcorrection.
I think because, like, the Federation or whatever the fuck it's called,
Federation or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I'm having a conversation with this guy again.
Zotz, you're never gonna make captain.
I'm debating. I'm talking about the Prime Directive with the Rube Trek over here. What am I doing?
They're not doing it like. Now I gotta fucking collect my thoughts again. The Federation, it wouldn't be like doing it for like personal gain. Right?
That's not the point. That's not the point. It's not about personal gain. It's about playing God.
Okay, well,
do you do it,
you're
or
not
do you
going to
not
hear my fucking point if you keep interrupting me, Eric.
Your point has been the same every single time.
Like, it's like okay, so like, for example, like if the United States goes somewhere to do like some like soft like imperialism by like, you know, like giving like sending an NGO to like build wells or some shit like that, like it's often being done with the idea that they're looking for like something, right? Like they're looking for like lithium deposits, or like, you know, trying to get like something out of like their being nice, right? The Federation, right, doesn't need to do that. Right, like the Federation wouldn't fucking do that, or the Starfleet, I guess, wouldn't fucking do that.
You're mixing up the incentive structure here.
Oh my god! All right, you know what? I'm done. Let's move on. I'm done with
You're done. You say the same thing like 4 times, and you're like, oh, I can't get out my point. No, the incentive structure is different here, because regardless of what the intentions are, because even the best of intentions, the whole point is that we shouldn't interfere with the natural evolution of a fucking species. We shouldn't terraform planets that have life on them. We shouldn't be altering societies that already exist. And I think that's a very
lot of sense. That stuff makes a lot of sense. That stuff makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, like, yeah, I don't believe that you should like terraform planets that have like the primordial ability to create life. Like, yeah, no, definitely. But like, once again, if that planet is like about to be like exploded into like whatever, and it's just a bunch of amoeba, like, do you just let it die? I honestly don't think you should. I think you should like save that planet. Like, even if it is like proto life, you know what I mean? Like, why not?
Yeah,
you know? But don't give me that fucking nonsense of like, but what if their amoeba turns into Hitler's thoughts?
Yeah, I personally agree. I think especially in that circumstance where like a planet, a society, a planet is fucking doomed anyway, you might as well help them out a little bit, you know. But then you have to be like, oh, then you have to actually look at the society, like, oh, wouldn't everyone be better off if all these fucking people just died anyway? And they're like, oh, well, isn't that a waste of the ecosystem? Shouldn't we just what if we just killed them all because they suck, and then just kept the ecosystem alive? You know, there's a lot of it's a much more interesting question than I think you're giving it credit for.
No,
but as it's portrayed in the show, I ultimately agree. There's literally no harm in saving the little girl's planet that's exploding because of volcanoes.
I literally hear this, like, for me, it's the same argument that a lot of people make, where it's just like, why should we help them? You know, they can help themselves, and if they can't, it just wasn't. It wasn't.
That's not what this is at all.
Not remotely
That's completely different.
Nicotine.
That's how my fucking take it. That's how I took it. I
think Zotz is coming out. Yeah, this is Rube Trek.
Nicotine, please, let's talk about the Prime Directive a little bit. And there's a larger like bonus episode I want to do at some point about this. But what are your thoughts about how the Prime Directive is portrayed here, and the Prime Directive in general?
Well, I think when you look at the Prime Directive, you can't just look at Prime Directive, right? You also have to look at the rest of the articles of the Federation, right? Because the Prime Directive is just the first one, but there's actually a lot of rules And there's even, I mean, to assume that it's perfect is obviously wrong, right? Because like most of the episodes are about how the Prime Directive is flawed in some way and has to be broken and like all this stuff.
True.
And the Prime Directive literally is just a thing that's made to be broken, right? Like every time we see the Prime Directive in action in the shows, it's like all 9 times out of 10, it's because they're breaking it somehow.
And they don't
right.
really get in trouble for doing that either.
Right. But also the articles are flawed too. They led to the creation of section 38, right? Is that what it's called? Section
31.
Section 31. Ugh, what a stupid premise too. Like I despise Section 31 as like a writing device.
I'm a Section 31 defender, but that's another bonus episode.
Well, regardless, I think the Prime Directive has its flaws, but I think it's important because, I mean, for a lot of the reasons that they state, right? Like would you necessarily feel comfortable if an alien species had come to planet Earth, while humanity was in the midst of developing, and altered the course of our civilization, right? Like that can happen at any point, and that's literally why it exists. It's to prevent all powerful alien species from altering fundamentally the development of a civilization.
Yeah, and one that they don't understand either. Like one that they have like absolutely no.
The problem is because it's a level of power that an alien civilization can exert over a pre-warp civilization, right? It's a power dynamic issue, and it's one that's like not consensual, like the all-powerful alien civilization wields so much implicit power that it's impossible not to abuse it in some way, right?
Yeah, and negotiation with those people becomes irrelevant because the very existence of these all-powerful beings that could save or destroy everyone in an instant, that in of itself is altering. Like going down and getting their consent at that point is irrelevant because the act of getting the consent is already a step farther than doing like an unseen, unfelt like a change to their planet that will keep it from blowing up into a bunch of volcanoes. So so it wouldn't be better if it wouldn't be, according to the Prime Directive, it wouldn't be better if they like went down and like talked to them and asked them, hey, do you want to save them? Because like of course they want to be saved, who fucking cares? But then also like that exterminates their possibility to be developing on their own. Now the more interesting questions are often not portrayed. Like, oh, what if we start saving societies and then we find a society that everyone just kind of agrees should die? Everyone, like, wow, these guys suck. We got to kill them off ASAP. And there's more interesting. But when it's never like that. It's more like, oh my God, you interfered with the natural, or worse, brother, you interfered with the natural development of this planet by bringing a couple of them into a holodeck, and then now we have to dump them on some other fucking planet.
Oh God.
Yeah, and so the Prime Directive annoys me. It annoys me even more with like the political stuff because, and this also goes into the Federation being abysmal at treaties. It's like, oh no, you just gotta roll over in every fucking negotiation with every galactic power that you encounter because oh my God, we can't interfere with their politics, even though they're constantly interfering with us. They're constantly, the Romulans are assassinating our ambassadors. They're blowing up the Enterprise. They're spying on us. They're building secret bases. Like, oh no, but we can't develop stealth technology because we signed a fucking treaty that the Romulans are constantly breaking.
Remember, Michelle Obama said it best: "When we go high, when they go low." Okay,
yeah. Honestly, I mean, we can't save the Bajorans from genocide because now we have a treaty with the Cardassians, and we can't just go back to war with them because they're doing a little genocide because whatever. It sucks. I hate it. It's stupid. For a lot of reasons. And yeah, and like this is a massive topic. Like you could make a whole fucking series talking about like the Prime Directive and how it's portrayed throughout everything, and like what the establishment of the actual rules are, because it's never like perfectly elucidated. Like, you know, we don't have a copy of like the like Federation's charter in order to look at and analyze. It's just this general rule that like Gene Roddenberry came up with because he was like, well, you know, colonialism's bad. How do I make sure this humanity of the future isn't doing colonialism? What if we just don't help anyone? Because colonialism, sometimes when they do colonialism, it has good intentions, but no, that's fucking stupid. But yeah, anyway, hey, that's it. Closing thoughts. Zots, let's do Rube Trek first. Zots, closing thoughts on this episode.
I mean, I don't know. I guess the way that I saw the episode was wrong, so I got. Okay. I don't know.
Well, let's combine two things into one here. Zots, out of 20 billion people mysteriously dying on a once thriving planet that is now consumed by scary volcanoes. How do you rate this episode?
How many people again did you say? Like
20 billion.
20 billion. I have to rate this higher than Measure of a Man. So like 15 billion.
75%. Great. Okay, cool. Nicotine, out of 10 psychic rocks like given to little girls, what do you rate this episode?
I would rate this probably 2.5 psychic rocks that Data will never hear because he is not real. He is a robot, a Chat GPT enabled Roomba.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
The psychic rock is the psychic rock is literally like it's worse than anything they did. Like abducting the little girl and erasing her memories and fixing their planet. The psychic rock is worse because now they have definitive proof of this, not only the supernatural but also extraterrestrial life in the form of this psychic rock. They're like, oh, what if this little girl had this? Data, it's callous disregard of the Prime Directive in this episode. Anyway,
okay,
all right. So give me a rating.
So Eric, out of a dozen thoroughbred created
Andalusians
horses. How many horses do you rate this?
The psychic rock annoyed me. Wesley annoyed me. I guess I was annoyed just by this whole episode. Is there any redeeming qualities to this episode at all?
Pulaski, like bonds with Data.
That clinches it. I am rating this episode 1. Dog.
One horse.
One horse out of 11. One thoroughbred Andalusian out of 12. Yeah, somehow, this episode sucked. I hated this. I hated basically every part of this episode. I think it was awful.
Somehow the holodeck created it lame, and like the card has to put it down like first thing.
And this is part of the simulation. Sometimes you just gotta shoot a horse.
I'll do it myself.
Do you think anybody has that program in the holodeck where they just go shoot horses all day?
Oh yeah, with like a cattle gun. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's how that, you know, the people that have like a psychological profile where they would have become cops like in the society, now they have like a program like, oh, well, let's just put them in a holodeck where they can, you know, kill to their heart's intent without it actually affecting anyone else. They can murder animals and beat women and whatever, and it's fine because it's not real, and they're just like on an island. We lock all the future cops up in an island. Every well, you know, I don't want to profile here, but you know what
all the Punisher fans wink.
You know what cops Punisher, look like. We're
Punisher
putting those on the
enjoyers,
and they can play like paintball with each other till the rest of the time. Well, fuck. That's Left Trek, folks. Bad episode. Don't watch this one. Good episode next time. Sorry, Nicotine.
Bah. Fuck you, Eric.
Bah, 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 bah.